Hello, hello, everybody. Good day, good day. Hope everybody is doing well. Just jumping on. I'm actually going to have a quick conversation, a little chat and check in. Hey, yes, that was quick. You were right on. I am going to be live today with Bonita of the B. Smith Project. We can go live with her. I think my camera. Sorry for everybody who's tuning in. Hopefully, your day is going pretty good thus far, and you are ready to rock and roll. Hey there.
Hi. Oh, let me fix my screen. Wait a
Can
minute
you
so
hear
you
me?
can see me. Hi.
There you go. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I
Perfect.
can hear you
Perfect.
good.
Hey, to the closer travel agent. I am here today live with Bonita Smith of the B. Smith Project. Thank you so much, Bonita, for joining me today. You have a lot of amazing things going on. And so, as a fellow Coco mom, I wanted to make sure we can get a chance to jump on and share some of this amazing work that you are doing. So, a couple of things, though, that I want the community, as people are joining in, thanks for joining us. I want them to know about you is that you're an entrepreneur. You are a Coco mom. Can you hear me okay? I
Yes.
hear some background. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Hold
I
on,
don't know
give me
why I'm.
1 second. Because
Okay.
it is a
While
little
you're doing that,
delay.
I'm going to
Okay,
tell.
great.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Oh, you know what? Okay, so Benita will be right back. She's had we had a little background noise that we're trying to get, but one of the things that I want to hey to Shakila, one of the things that I want to share about this amazing Coco Mom as she goes to rejoin is that I was saying she's an entrepreneur. She is a Coco mom. She's a sister. She is an amazing business professional, and she has a heart and a compassion to serve others. She has a love for Christ, and that is what informs a lot of what she does. And so it's just such a blessing and super excited to be able to join her on this mission and this movement that she's doing. So when she comes back, we're going to get into it so that you can learn more about B. Smith herself, Bonita Smith herself, as well as the B. Smith Project and some of the other things her and her Cocoa Village are doing. But before that, I want to take this opportunity to remind you all that May 22nd is International Cocoa Mom Day. So I need you all to make sure you go use the link in the bio and register. Even if you are not a Cocoa mom per se, I need you to go and register. Use the link in the bio or go to Cocolife.black and click on our events page. All you have to do is register how you are going to celebrate the day. International Cocoa Mom Day is May 22nd. This is our second year, and we are so excited about being able to celebrate yet another trip around the globe, a trip around the sun, as they say. And so, with that, International Cocoa Mom Day is a time for Cocoa moms to be celebrated for all the amazing things that they do. I don't care if you are going on a trip like we're doing, going to Tulum, Mexico. I don't care if you're hanging
Yes.
with your Cocoa kids. I don't care if you're doing community work or if you are just relaxing, kicking your feet up on the couch. Please go and register for that. Another update is that we are having our first Mom Ambassador meet and greet on Sunday. If you did not get a chance, please click that link in the form to sign in the bio to sign up to become a Mom Ambassador to join us at our meet and greet and find out what that means. You are probably already it. You are probably already doing it.
Hmm.
But if you want to just get a little more insight onto what is going on, please make sure that you sign up, use that link. So those two things, May 15th, this coming Sunday, Mom Ambassador meet and greet. Click the Mom Ambassador form, sign up and come join us. And May 22nd, International Cocoa Mom Day. Make sure that you click the link in the bio to go and register or RSVP how you're going to celebrate. So welcome back,
Hi.
Benita.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay,
Yes. Can you hear me
awesome.
okay?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly fine. My phone, my other phone had a spirit in it. So yeah, we
Ah,
had we had we had to
you
get
had
rid
to,
of that demon.
you had to tell it to
Yeah.
calm down right now. I'm trying to do
Yeah, I need you to
something.
act right.
Well, welcome,
Thank you.
welcome,
Thank
welcome,
you.
welcome. so excited to be here with you today.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for your time.
Definitely.
Everybody who's tuning in live or watching the playback, this is Bonita Smith of the B. Smith Project. Okay, her and her crew are doing some amazing things out here in the world of community service, outreach, engagement, and just women's support, and community support. And I wanted to have you on as you were sharing with me a few of those things that you were doing. I was like, you got to come on and kind of enlighten us over here. She is also a mom ambassador. I'm so excited to say. So excited. She was like, I want to be a mom ambassador. How do I be a mom ambassador? And
Right.
I was like, well, I know you already doing it, so you can absolutely come on board and just inform others, and share that work.
Yes.
So that's what I want to start with. So tell everybody a little bit about you, your background, your experience, and then we're going to get into some of the things you're doing with the B. Smith Project.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alexia, for this opportunity and sharing your platform with me. I am so appreciative and grateful for this. The connection between you and I has been a godsend, and I am just forever grateful. I'm excited to be a part of the Coco Life community. I'm ready. Whatever it is, I filled out my application form, so make sure y'all process it, okay? I am super excited. So I am Bonita Smith, and really where I am today really comes from it results to where I came from and where I've been. So professionally, I've been in the operation management field now for about 25 years. And working under, some of the greatest, I've had the opportunity, to work with some wonderful CEOs and VPs in the corporate world. And that's just where I got a lot of my education from. I didn't go to college. I didn't go to any kind of secondary school. I did high school. I graduated. That was it. So everything has really been hands-on for me, really having the drive and the desire, to really find who I am and tap into what it is that I want to do. So operations management has been the thing for me, strategic planning, process improvement, HR intervention, customer experience opportunities. I am also involved in the DE&I world. Feel very strongly about that. We need that nowadays. And so that has been my drive,
Talk about that.
yeah, we definitely need that. We need some, we need to be inclusive, folks trying to keep us separate,
Yes.
and so
Yes.
really pushing that, we're all one, and we can all do this together equally. That is something that I hold very dear to my heart is DE&I. And so that has been my professional life. I've been a supervisor, manager, I've moved on up in the corporate world. And then I got to a place where I'm like, wait a minute, is this what I really want to do? I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I've always dove into other areas as far as educating myself, getting certified. I'm a certified business consultant. And so I really, I had to get out there and snag those opportunities. I had to find out what works for me. So being a charitable giver has always been my heart, to a fault at times. There have been times where I probably gave and I shouldn't, but
We all know that. We all know about
I'm
that. You
still
give,
doing it.
but and I appreciate that because we think and we know, especially as Christians, we understand that we are blessed to be a blessing, and God has given us wisdom. And so I think just being able to pull all of that together to take care of His children, to bless others as we've been blessed, and use wisdom in doing that is big part of the mission. So thank you for highlighting that
Yes,
piece.
big, big, big part. And so that is a passion and a part of me that I did not want to lose. So about 5 years ago, I was just thinking, what more can I do? What else can I do? So I started the B. Smith Company. And again, I've always been in operations. I've always fallen into that administrative support realm. So I started the B. Smith Company long before, the pandemic where everything went virtual. That started for me 5 years ago, and I'm actually a virtual administrative consultant. So I partner with other clients to help the operations piece of their businesses, small business owners, freelancers, entrepreneurs, you know, you name it. And I tend to target them because, you know, for yourself, as we start out, it's not a lot of money there. It's not a lot of resources there, but we have all of these ideas that we have to get out of our head, and we have to be strategic in how we're doing that, you know, and sometimes you just need a little bit of help. You know, you just need that little bit of support, but you may not be able, you know, to afford to hire a team, you know, or, you know, depending on what your business is, you know, if it's for profit, the boards and all those things don't really come into play. So we provide that support, you know, we help you with if it's booking, you know, if it's traveling, if you need to get your database together, if you need to organize your customers, sending out those communications, if you need that middle person to basically operate virtually, and we do this all virtually, to virtually operate your business, we actually set you up with that. We provide you with the resources, any guidance. There are so many systems out there, you know, that goes unnoticed, where people think, oh, I have to be in a brick and mortar. I have to have employees. I have to be in person. I have to have that face-to-face contact. And that's really not true. You know, it's so many vending sources out here that really allows you to operate your business virtually. And I think the pandemic honestly proved that. It required,
I agree.
yeah, it required us to be very resourceful. We had to start thinking out of the box. We had to start finding other ways that, you know, now we're stuck at home. How am I going to do this? And so we started that, you know, 5 years ago, you know, and so anything, you know, that any clerical support, you know, again, bookkeeping, traveling, employee management, you know, customer management, you know, we'll manage your calls, we'll manage your mailboxes, you know, we do it all, anything that falls under that administrative support realm, because we want you to be able to focus on your business, you know.
Oh, okay. So I gotta put a pin in there really
Okay.
quick because this is important. So I love, and I knew all of this about all the amazing things that you did from an operational and administrative perspective. And I think that's one of the, why I know that's one of the reasons why we connected so
Yes.
well and God brought us together,
Yes.
because our minds work the same way. I absolutely am an administrative leader. And that operationally, I just love that space. Similarly was my background. But what I want to lift up most for everybody who, again, either watching live or tuning back, is that some of you may know, but for others, this will be a note about the work that I do with Milestone. And so, interestingly enough, that is kind of what my draw was to Milestone. So when I first started, we actually just celebrated 5 years at the beginning of this month. I can't believe it. Crazy. Thank you. But that was the same thing. It was like small businesses. That was my heart, because I know how difficult it is. And I know that there aren't always fiscal resources out there to support it. And so that is what made this such an important relationship for us. Oh, my junior intern just showed up.
Hey, hey, MJ.
It just, can you take this out your mouth? See, always on Coco Mom duty. I don't even know what these are. Oh my gosh. But that was one of the things that I appreciated the most about this relationship, is because you see, we can all share space.
We can.
Some of the things that Bonita talked about, this is an opportunity for me to refer people to her. The work that we do with Milestone with small businesses, while administrative, we do also focus on the PR side of things and curriculum development. And so guess what? This proves that it isn't about competition. It is more so about collaboration, and God will place the right resources in your life to elevate you both. All right, I just had to say that real quick. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, Reverend Alexa, because that is it. That is certainly the key, and that's a big part, you know, of the B. Smith Company. You know, we want to push, we want to drive the visions of other companies, other organizations, other entrepreneurs. We want them to make sure that they are successful in everything it is that they're offering to their communities, especially. And we want to be that support system for them. You know, so it's basically really coming in, you know, we're here. What do you need? Because I'm going to tell you what, even if it's something that I don't do, I'm going to go research it real quick, and we're going to make a way. We're going to make this fit, you know, and we've had wonderful, wonderful successes. We've worked with church organizations, fashion stylists, brand strategists, and we want to set the precedence that no matter how big or small, your business is, we all have a spot. There is a spot for everyone. You have something that people need. You have something that people want. And so we want to make sure that you're successful at it. So that's what we do there. Then the other part of me started pulling, the charity part, of me. And so that's where the B. Smith Project began. She has been in the making for the last 2 years. And so, I shifted over, the B. Smith Company is still there. We're not going anywhere. And, but I had to tap into that other side of me. So with the B. Smith Project, we do quite a few things. A lot of people do niche down. Yes, indeed, they do. But over here for B. Smith, it's not just that one thing for me. I'm not built that way.
You were like,
I'm like, no.
See, this is now y'all see why, because she does all the things too.
Yeah, honey,
okay,
we all things, everything. So the B. Smith Project, we target bullying, domestic violence, food disparities, homelessness, and teen pregnancy. And that's where it actually stemmed from, because I am a teen mother. I had my wonderful bundle of joy when I was 17. And so yes, she loves you, Alexia. And so it was during that moment, and really, I was the quiet child. I think my sister's on here, she'll probably disagree, but I was the quiet one. I didn't get involved in too much. So of course, when it came up, and my family name is Faye, they like, Faye is pregnant. And it was like, uh-oh, how this happened? Where did this come from? And so in that moment, carrying her and bringing her into the world, there was nothing else. It was hands down. It was not a debate. It wasn't, well, what am I going to do now? My brain instantly it triggered. It instantly, even at 17. I'm very family oriented. My family means everything to me. And so it just wasn't up for discussion, about what I was going to do. And so that is really where the B. Smith Project stemmed from, because that is also my connection with Cocolife as well.
You better tie it all together in a little bow. I do have a question for you, because some of the women that will tune in or hear this have had similar journeys, and some may even be their real life experience right now. And so I am always so appreciative of women who share this journey, especially as it relates to teen pregnancy and where they are now, and the importance of support. Because one of the things we cannot do, yes, we can educate and we can do everything we can to get in front of opportunities or instances like this, situations like this. And when it becomes our reality, we must stand up and be intentional about the support that we give to these moms, because they are bringing forth life. These parents, these mothers, if father happens to be involved, we need to be there. And so if you could just take a moment just to share with us, like, just that journey. Like you said, you knew instantly that you still had to do even more to make sure that your life was the best that it could be. What sorts of things kind of informed that decision? Like, what helped you to stay centered and so focused? Because many women be like, I can't do this. And we're not judging anybody. We're not judging anybody. And I do believe that sometimes whatever that internal piece is, where you may not just have the will or see the vision, there's got to be something else that kind of keeps pushing you. So what was that for you?
A lot of it, although my mama wasn't happy, a lot of it, was my mother. She was very shocked. My sister was very shocked, and it was a complete shocker, in my family, and not that I was a goody two shoe. It was just really just unexpected. However, in that moment, I can say that my mom and my sister, they never questioned it. It was never, you gonna do. It was really, we're gonna support you in whatever you do. You know, and that spoke volumes for me. I know I've always had the support, of my family, and so, and mostly my mom and my sister. The three of us were very close. And so it was really, how can we support you? Not what are you going to do? What are you doing? How did you do this? It wasn't any of that. But like I said, my mom's from down south. She was not, she was definitely not pleased at all. And it's not something that she wanted, for me. But in my mind, because I grew up around such a large family, again, not judging anybody at all because everybody's situation is different, just terminating that pregnancy that never came up in my house. That was never a conversation, at all. And so from there, it just drove me to say, with my mom being a very strong-minded person, and that's how she raised my sister and I, to be willful, to be faithful, to be in prayer, to ask God to guide us and put us on the right path. Although the decision that I made, it wasn't intentional, but, with not using the appropriate preventive measures, to stop it from happening, it was, right now, I can't think about that. I can't worry about what happened, when happened, how did this happen? Now it's done. And I'm just a forward thinking person that way. And it just comes from the strength, of how we were raised, and we have to own up to our responsibilities. We have to be accountable for any and every decision that we make, in and all of everything that we do. And so immediately there it was, well, I already know I have to finish school, that's not an option. So every morning, there again, I had the support, of other family members. I got up, I got my baby girl dressed, I walked to the daycare and dropped her off at daycare. And my school was a couple blocks down. And I walked to school and I graduated high school, on time, yes. I graduated on time, with, I think I was like at a 3.7 average. I did very well. Yes, your girl a little smart now. And so, and
I know that is right. I know you
yes,
are. And just just the fact that you kept all of this going
great.
is what is the
Yes.
celebration. Is like, so I want people to know when they hear this is that this is not a you're not condemned if this is your becomes your experience. No, if anything, it becomes your driving force to know that you are going to keep on making a difference in not just your life now, but the life of this child. And child, let me tell you, she's not smart. She's not smart. She's brilliant. Okay. Bonita with the B over here. We got our own Bay
Yes.
over here. We got our own B over
Yes.
here. She is
Thank
brilliant. The
you.
B and B Smith is for
Thank you
brilliance.
so much. I
Okay.
like that,
Don't
girl.
let her
I
try
had
to
to
tell
steal
you
that.
she's smart. Right. She brilliant. No, keep
Thank
going.
you.
Thank
And
you.
so it was, my life now evolved around this little girl, and so it was, if I was set to go into the military, I wanted to be in the Marines. And so, which was really odd for me because I'm not a morning person, I don't struggle with authority, but I don't like folk yelling at me, and all that other stuff. And my sister was in the Army. And I was like, I saw all the opportunities, and the things that she was doing. And, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can have a great future, but I just like the Marines. And I'm going to be honest, I just like their uniforms. However, I knew I just like the uniform. So I knew in that moment, but there was a lot of education. It was a lot of knowledge. It was a lot of opportunities. And you know how they come to the high schools and try to recruit you. Well, in that interim, I became pregnant. And so I was scheduled to go and talk to my recruiter. And so, she was just like, well, you'll have to give your daughter up for adoption. It could be a family member. It could be, I said, adoption. She can't go with me. And she was just like, no, you would have to sign over your parental right. I said, ma'am, thank you so much for your time. You can rip that application up. I hadn't signed anything or anything like that. Yeah, you can go ahead and rip that up, because that's not going to work for us. So, I digressed. I diverted into a totally different direction. Again, I graduated high school, and it was just me and her. It was just me and her on, from there for a few years. Then I met my husband, I had my son, and that's when I just kind of, got into my corporate life and found my footing, for it. And so even during that time, I had a midwife, Dr. McCartan, Judith McCartan. I will never forget that lady as long as I live. And when I tell you, she not only provided that medical support, she delivered both of my children. And she also was very nurturing, very supportive. Here's your resources. This is where you need to go. Remember, I'm 17 the first time around. And so she's like, here are your resources. This is where you need to go. This is who you need to call. This is what you need to do. And so, and that was personal. That was in my personal life. It was something that she absolutely did not have to do. She could have been my doctor, your baby fine, call me when you go in labor. But she wasn't like that. Having that midwife was such an experience for me, and it just added to the support. But then I think about everybody doesn't have that opportunity. Everybody doesn't have that ability to be able to have such a loving nest of people, around you. And that's really just what the B. Smith Project is about. We want to be a resource center. That's what we are. We are a resource guide to your future. That is our tagline. We are a resource guide to your future, and we want to be able to let you know that whatever situation you're in, domestic violence, bullying, food disparities, homelessness, being a teen parent, you are not alone. You're not alone in this. There are a couple other parts of my organization that I had been, involved in, domestic violence, and things of that sort. So these initiatives, and well, I don't want to call them initiatives, these obstacles, that some of us have faced in life are personal to me. These are real life experiences for me. And again, that support system is what's needed. We don't have all the answers. We can't really tell people what to do.
Yes.
The only thing that we can do is be that layer of cushion, to be that loving support, again, to let them know that you're not alone. So generally what we do is partner with other organizations to help people, whatever situation you may be in. We are here to help. Tell us what it is that you need.
I love it.
What situation are you in? What can we do? I don't have psychologists on my team. I don't have any doctors. I don't have any nurses. I don't have any of that. I have people on my team that experience these things in real life. I have people on my team that went hungry. They didn't know where their next meal was coming from. I moved around a lot, because I was at that young age trying to figure out my path, so I wasn't necessarily homeless, but I moved a lot. I didn't have stable, we just weren't stable, for quite a while. And so we want to be able to position our programs where we may not necessarily be able to solve your problem, but we want to be able to provide you with the resources to maneuver through that situation onto the road to resolution. And if we can help you solve it, then that's what we're going to do. But people don't understand, there may be a beginning and an end, but what about the middle?
Come through.
What happens in the middle of all of this? So in the beginning, I was young. I was a teen mom. I was a young wife. I had my son when I was 21, and it's like now where I'm at, I'm divorced, and my kids are grown now, and I'm established, I'm successful. I have a very promising career and a future. But what about that in between? What What did
Yep.
I go through from between the beginning and the end? And that's where people need that support. It's easy for people to say, well, all they got to do is do this, and all she need to do is go get a job. And I worked every day of my life since I was 17 years old. And that's not always the answer, to it. We got people living
Right.
paycheck to paycheck right now.
We have homeless people who are employed, because as the cost of living rises, as especially if they're parenting,
Mm-hmm.
as these needs rise, then guess what? You have to make a sacrifice, and sometimes a place to stay is not always as easy, and it's
Mm-mm.
not as easy as go get on Section 8 and
Mm-mm.
go do this. And they have all these programs and these grants and these hoops and loops to jump through.
Mm-hmm.
And so I appreciate, supporting the middle, and that is oftentimes too, hey, botanically blended, that's another thing. Thank you for joining this conversation. Let me pause for a minute and
Mm-hmm.
say, for those of you who are just tuning in or watching the playback, it's your Coco Mom Evolved, Alexia, and I am here with Bonita Smith of the B Smith Project. So far, y'all, we have talked about professional endeavors,
Mm-hmm.
career aspirations, employment, entrepreneurism, business support, administrative and operations leadership,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the things, hey, all love, one of the things
Hi.
that Bonita and her team does on her for-profit side. And then as she is doing work in her space of the B Smith Project and her team, they are addressing disparities in the social determinants of health
Mm-hmm.
as it relates to homelessness, as it relates to teen pregnancy, as it relates to intimate partner or domestic violence. And that's what, as it relates to food
Mm-hmm.
disparities. And so that's what we're talking about. And I need y'all to know, this is what we mean when we say we are cultivating community over
Yes.
here at Cocolife.black.
Mm-hmm.
So we may say, and we do acknowledge, that the three stages we start with moms is pregnancy, postpartum, and compassion for the loss of a child or significant loved one. And to do that, we have to cultivate a community.
Yes.
And so if it takes a village to raise a child,
Yes.
guess what? We got to make sure we are a good
That's
village.
right.
And so what Bonita was just talking about is the lived experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have people that have learned experiences as it relates to, they've gone and pursued certificates and
Mm-hmm.
education. They're doctors and lawyers and nurses and all of these professional designations. And that's great. And we need
Mm-hmm.
those. And we need to make sure that we highlight what lessons are learned through our lived experiences. And so when you come to
Mm-hmm.
the B Smith Project, you got to know that you are coming there with a need that can be satisfied and supported, because internally they have the resources. And as we are building connections, just like with Coco
Mm-hmm.
Life, they will partner you
Mm-hmm.
with the resources that are needed to make sure that you advance and that you have everything, to have a promising future as you navigate that in between.
Yes.
All right, I just had to,
Yes.
to, to drop that little commercial.
That was wonderful. That was wonderful, friend. Yeah,
So
you did that.
I do, friend, I appreciate you. Like, so I do have a question for you as it relates to some of your upcoming projects. So I
Mm-hmm.
know that you have a few things that are coming up over the next few weeks. And so if
Mm-hmm.
you all are intentionally following Coco Life, and I know you're going to go follow B Smith Project, and if you're following B Smith Project, I know you're going to follow Coco Life. But what are some of the things that you have coming up that we should stay connected so we can support?
Yeah, so this year is the year that we are really hitting the ground running with the B Smith project. We've taken the time to build the foundation, make sure that we are prepared for what's to come. So every third Saturday, beginning May 21st, is our clothing drive. We have everything for women, children, and men. We are steadily accepting donations. But it's either it's a free pickup, or if you would like to drop something off. So we want to make sure, that we target that particular area. There's always a need, and it's places I like to go to. I work every day, but I can find some good pieces, in the Goodwill, So, but we want to make sure, that for those that are still in that in between, we're here. What is it that you need? So that clothing drive is going to be every third Saturday beginning May 21st. It is at our location, the Workroom HQ. It's 11 East Winona, Norwood, PA 19074. If you follow our page, it will definitely be posted there. You can find the details there as well. And that is going to be ongoing. So come one, come all. You can pick up for someone. If you have things that you no longer need, you can certainly drop it off at the location. And again, we are certainly always accepting donations as well. I think our bigger need right now is for the infancy to toddler ages. We take cribs, bassinets, strollers, whatever it is, gently used items that you are able to donate. We are definitely grateful and accepting of it all. Then in our other division,
let me just highlight that.
Okay.
Let me highlight that real quick, y'all. Okay, so y'all know how quickly these kids run out of things, and I'm so mad because I just got rid of a crib, but I got a bunch of other stuff. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
So no problem there. But we know how quickly these kids go out of stuff. So you see one of the major needs, and somebody dropped the closer travel agent dropped in here. What are the hours for drop off?
So the hours for that particular event, well, I shouldn't call it an event. The hours for that day is going to be 12 to 2. If for any reason you're not able, that's not an accommodating time for you, you can always email us at info@thebsmithproject.org, and we can definitely set up a separate time and accommodations. But that is something, that to give everybody something to look forward to if need be. But you can pick up and drop off at any time. We just ask that you can reach out to us just to set up an appointment time. Otherwise, every third Saturday, it will always be from 12 to 2. We will be there every third Saturday. But we certainly will accommodate other times as well.
Okay, so every third Saturday, and I'm going to fix the email. So it's info@thebsmithproject. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you need to set up other arrangements for drop off time, however, the date is starting on May 21st, which is next Saturday, and every Saturday ongoing from 12 to 2. You can come and participate in the clothing drive that the B. Smith Project is doing. I tagged them a little bit above, so make sure you go to the Workroom HQ to get the location and the address where you can do the drop-offs and to stay in touch. Okay,
to definitely
keep going.
In touch. So next, in our bullying and domestic violence division, we are hosting a self-defense course. It is a women's self-defense course. Now, ladies, it's a lot going on out here. It's sex trafficking, it's kidnapping. I had a close friend of mine just a couple months ago. Her cousin was abducted and murdered outside of her job. And so that just really hits home. It hits home for me. For me personally, I was in, a verbally, abusive thing. I was young. It was kind of a two-way street, type of thing. But I was involved in that as well, not even realizing, that it was, even just an abusive, verbally abusive, relationship, that I was in. And so it escalated to physical violence. Against me, and I was in a position where I had to defend myself, so back then, it wasn't a talk, about, you figure that's, 20 years ago, there really wasn't a lot of talk about how women can defend themselves. What can they do in their everyday lives to make sure that they are protected? Now we can't even just simply walk the street. We can't even go to work, anymore. So where we always have to be on guard. On June 4th, and it's going to be at the Workroom HQ at our location, we will be having a women's self-defense workshop. Okay. It is physical. It's interactive. You're crazy. It is physical. It is interactive, and you will actually be taught by the very own Master Yolanda Little. She is on here, and she is a,
Hey, Master Little.
yes, she is a fourth degree master black belt. She has her own karate. Well, I won't say karate. I'm gonna get it right, sis. She has her own martial arts school located in York, PA. Okay, she has been up and running. She teaches women, children, it's family. She got a whole family that's a part of her school. It's a husband and wife, and they have 3 kids. You know, they really, really up and coming. And so she will be the instructor of the event, and she is going to teach you how you can go out here in everyday life and just to be alert, to learn how to be alert, be
Yeah.
aware of your surroundings. What are those preventive measures? If you get into that situation, how can you get out of it? What
Yeah.
is the next steps, if you are attacked, so we want to be able to, it's so much going on, and I feel right now we as women, we are not protected like we should be,
Mm-mm.
and I know
Nope.
some.
And this is not and not to drudge up old stuff, but when we say protected as women, that does not mean the activities that were the decision, I should
Mm-hmm,
say, that was made a few weeks ago during the Oscars. That is not what we mean by protected as women.
mm-hmm,
Let me just, surface that
mm-hmm,
there. So for those who are like, oh, this is protecting Black women, and that, no, it's not.
mm-hmm.
It's not. And as a matter of fact, we have a responsibility to make sure that protection does not only equate
That's right.
to violent
That's
episodes
right.
and things like that. Again, because our children, our youth, our young scholars are
They
watching.
are watching. They are watching. And so, and that's a very good point. That's why, we are focused on what can you do, not to walk out in fear, not to
Right.
feel like, everywhere you go, you always got to be on guard. We're teaching things, what to look out for, how can you avoid, certain situations, but also, however, to no fault of anyone, if you end up in that situation, how can you get out of it? It's just some things that we just don't have any control over, and so we want to educate and teach people as best as we can. Even in that, I've been robbed. I've had a 38 pointed 2 inches from my forehead, so it's just like
Hmm.
in that moment, what do you do? How do I get out of this situation? And then what do I get out? And when I get out of it, then what do I do next? So we want to be
Yeah.
able just to provide just a little insight on the skills and ability that we have to do. It builds confidence. It gives a sense of security, to a lot of women,
Yes.
and it's everyday objects, that you can use.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to carry, and that's perfectly fine, but you can, your set of car keys, could be potential, to protect yourself. And those are the type of things that we're going to teach. So that is June 4th. That will be, at the Workroom HQ. It is a ticketed event, which supports all of the funds are supported in the operation of Master Little School, the Apex Martial Arts
Mm-hmm.
Academy, and it also supports the B. Smith Project Foundation as well, so that we can keep a lot of these initiatives going. So that is going to be June 4th. That actually will be posted today. So everyone, please stay tuned for that one.
Awesome. And I know you have one other event, one final event I just want to lift up before we transition, coming up in July, the end of
Yes.
July.
So we also don't want to only say people that are in need, can come to us. We are very versatile. We are universal. If anybody comes to us, if you come to me and say, Bonita, I just need help with my staffing for my business. The B. Smith Project is still going to be there. Yes, we have that target focus. We have that target audience. that we want to be a support system for. But our ultimate goal is to be there for any and everyone where we possibly can. So on July 30th, again, it's going to be at our same location. We are doing Beauties in Business. And Beauties in Business is derived from women just like you and me that are starting out. You know, earlier in the conversation, we talked about how the resources are not there. We don't know who to turn to. We need help, and we don't always want to rely on our family
Listen.
and friends all the time. You know, so it's just like, because my sister and my daughter, they support all of my craziness. Okay. They are the ones that I bounce all of my ideas off. I'm like, listen to this. Tell me if it makes sense, even if you don't know what I'm talking about. And they are actually, you
Right.
know, the best candidates to talk to, because if you're explaining something and they don't understand it, then the people out there are not going to understand it either.
Right.
Yeah. So we
That part.
want to have a safe place, a safe forum, you know, where women can come to, and we kind of start back with basics. I know quite a few people that have businesses. They're not registered. They have no business insurance. You know, they really don't know how to market themselves. And then the emotional piece of it is they get tied up when they don't get the support that they're looking for, you know.
Yes, they get discouraged.
Yep,
Yep.
they get very, very discouraged, you know, and because of the connections, when I had to step outside of my comfort zone, that's when it opened up for me, you know, you as a perfect example. You know, we met through a different avenue, you know, however, we have been able to establish such a connection and such a bond that, you know, we are both on the same path. We're both going in the same direction. And I want women to come into that event, you know, understanding and knowing that, number one, this is an immediate sisterhood. Sis, tell me what you need.
Yes.
What are you looking for? Where are you stuck? What's your roadblock? What do you need help with? And it's a lot of what my sister talks to me about. She's just getting into business, you know. So I definitely pour into her what was poured into me, you know. And so it's very insightful, you know, it's enlightening, and it makes a big difference when you have that platform and that safe space to say, right now, I don't know what I'm doing. So we're going to have some
Mm-hmm.
wonderful speakers there. You're going to be one of them. So y'all, you know, y'all going to hear from the best of the best.
Whoop, whoop.
And we're
I'm
really,
hyped.
yeah, and we're really going to talk about, you know, the guidance, the support, the emotional connection that we have to our business. What do we do when we feel like we're failing? You know, how can we
Yeah.
get back on top of things so we can succeed further? So we're going to be talking about marketing, and we're going to talk about ways that you don't have to break the bank. You know, a lot of people
Yep.
jump out and have no kind of financial plan. Because I'm going to tell you, I was one of them. I
Listen.
had no clue what I was going to do. I was just, oh, let me get this website. Oh, let me get these text alerts. Let me get this again. And then I started looking at my expenses, and I'm like, I'm spending more money than I'm making. You know,
Yeah.
so it's a,
And not spending and making sure, and it's one thing if you're spending more money that you're making and the things you're spending it on will have a
that's
return
right.
pretty quickly.
Right.
It's another thing when you're spending money more than what you're making and there's no return in
That's
sight.
right.
There's no ROI, and the cost benefit analysis is
Not
not
matching
lining
up.
up the way it
Right.
should.
It's not matching up. So we want to make sure, you know, that when you decide to take that leap of faith, you know, and you want to start out to have a structured plan, you know, how are you going to do this? You do not have to go out and put on this facade, you know, like you got it all together. You know, it's releasing
Yeah.
that stress of, you know, I'm starting out with this new thing. I really don't know what I'm doing, but this is the desire of my heart. So what is an efficient and effective way to do that? You know, how can I market on a low end? You know, how can, you know,
Yeah.
what is a cheaper way to do this? But you get what you pay for, you know, a lot of times, you know, so just
Yep.
really providing some vending sources that are available to people. And so you can really focus on your necessities, you know, like registering and protecting your business, like having that business insurance just in case somebody tries to sue you, you know, at one of your events they come to. And then just
Yes.
also having that financial structure to help yourself be successful. July 30th.
Yes. Oh, you did great. You did great. Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh. This has been such an amazing
Yes.
conversation. There is so much more. Let me tell y'all right now, if you haven't already noticed or don't already see, there is so much more that is going to come from the
Yes,
collaboration of Cocolife.black and the B Smith Project and all the amazing communities that are coming together to support.
yes,
And so this is what support looks like is we
yes,
show up. We show up for each other.
yes,
We show up for ourselves, and we show up for you.
yes.
That's the thing. It's all about showing up.
Hmm.
And so where there is a need, no matter what that need looks like, and just like Bonita said, it is not just the stories. We are not just the stories of our struggles.
Right.
We are also the stories of our successes. And we're just talking about navigating the journey in between,
Hmm.
celebrating each piece as we leverage it, and then marching on beyond
Yes.
that. So I want to thank so much to Bonita of the
Thank
B Smith
you.
Project for joining us
Yes.
today. This is actually our first Coco Connect of the month. And what an amazing month it
Yes.
is. May is our month of mothers, we say.
Hmm.
We just celebrated Mother's
Yes.
Day. Again, we got International Coco Mom Day coming up May
Hmm.
22nd. And it is Mental Health Awareness Month as well. And so part of what we need to do to navigate our mental
Hmm.
health is make sure we are surrounding ourselves by the right people. I just did a post a couple of days ago, I think it was, that was like, make sure you surround yourself with people who give you room to bloom. Like,
That's
we
tough.
should be watering each other. Like that,
Hmm.
we should be watering each other.
There's room for us
And so
all.
I want to thank you so much,
Hmm.
Benita.
Yes.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Amazing job.
Thank you.
Stay connected.
Yes.
Stay connected, y'all. It's a bunch of stuff coming up. We love y'all so much. Thank you and have a great rest of your
Thank
day.
you. Bye, everyone.
Peace.